Welcome to another video. In this video, we are going to solve a problem from Hackerrank. This problem is based on the previous problem that we have solved in the series, which is range sum. So it is easy to understand. I will explain the solution. I will explain each and every step involved in the process, and then we will also go through some examples to understand the solution. So starting with a one indexed array of zeros and list of operation. For each operation, add a value to each array elements between the two given indices inclusive. Once all operations have been performed, return the maximum value in the array. This is the problem definition. What they mean is, initially we will start with array of zeros, which is of size n. So here they will give n, which is the size of the array. As you can see here, there are 10 elements in the array. We will start with all the values will be 0 in the beginning. And after that, there will be some queries. Each query consists of three parts. One is A, and another is B, and another is K. So for each query, we will add K to the first till from first position to fifth position. So after first query, we will add 3 from 1 to 5. So from first position to fifth position, we are adding 3 because K is 3 in the first query. So array becomes first to fifth position will become 3, and remaining elements will be stayed in the 0. And our second query is from position 4 to position 8 we will add 7. So this is the fourth position. From here to here we are going to add 7 because K is 7 here in the second query. So if we add 7, so previously it was 3, if we add 7 it will become 10. And then similarly for 3 we are adding 7, it also becomes 10, and for 0 if we add 7 it becomes 7. So array updated array will look like this. And there is one more query, that is position 6 to position 9 we have to add 1, that is from 6 to 9, from here to here we have to add 1. So for 7 if we add 1 it will become 8, and for 7 if we add 1 it will become 8. Similarly here also, if we add 1 to 7 it will become 8. If we add 1 here it will become 1. We will go through one more example so that you can understand what we are doing in this problem, and later we will come up with a solution which will be faster. Because one way to solve this problem is we can just go through the array from this index to this index, that is position will be from 0 index to 4, from a minus 1 to b minus 1, and we can just add this element. That is one solution. But if we follow this approach, for each query we may have to go through array every time. There is one more approach to this problem where we can make use of prefix sum methodology to solve this problem. I will explain that solution with an example. Let us consider one example where given n is 10, that means there will be 10 elements in the array. Initially all the elements will be 0. So this is the initial status where all the elements will be 0, and there will be 10 elements. Let us write the index also. Index starts from 0, and since there are 10 elements, index will end at 9. 0 to 9 there will be 10 elements. Let us consider this query where they have given 1, 5 and 3. That means from first position to fifth position we have to add 3. So from index 0 to index 4, that is first position will be index 0, fifth position will be index 4, we have to add 3. After adding 3 for all the elements of that particular indices, array will become like this. So where the first 5 elements will be 3 and the remaining elements will be remained at 0. Consider the second query where the query is 4, 8 and 7. That means from 4th position to 8th position we have to add 7. So if you observe the index is from 3 to 7. From index 3 to index 7 we are going to add 7. So 3 plus 7 becomes 10, and 0 plus 7 becomes 7. So modified array will look like this. And consider one more query where given query 6, 9 and 1, and here from index 5 to index 8 we have to add 1. So after adding 1, array will look like this. These elements will be remains same, and from here we will add 1. 7 plus 1 becomes 8 and 0 plus 1 becomes 1. So this will be the array after performing all the queries. In this array we have to return what is the maximum value. So if you consider the last array, here maximum value is 10 and we have to return this value. This is what the problem statement means. And let us discuss the uh, approach where we go through array only once. Instead of going through array for each query, we will go through array only once. Let us start with that approach. Initially, we will have an array which will be initialized to 0. So similar to that previous approach, we will have an array where all the elements of the array will be initialized to 0. This is our array, and I'm going to write the index for all the elements. Index also starts from 0 and it will end at 9 because there are 10 elements in the array. And at each query, our methodology is if our approach is if query requires us to from index from first position to from Ath position to Bth position, that means if from A minus 1 index we are going to add k, and at B index we are going to subtract k. If we do this, let us see what happens. Consider this first query where A is 1, here A is 1 and B is 5. So what will be the A minus 1? A minus 1 is 0. At 0 we are going to add 3, and at 5 we are going to add minus 5 minus 3 because k is 3 for the first query. We are considering the first query at index A minus 1 we are adding 3, and at index B we are going to add minus 3. So B value is 5. So at index 5 we have to add minus 3. So this will be the intermediate array. And let us consider what happens if we write sum of all the elements till that particular index. I'm going to write that array in purple color so that you are able to differentiate it. In here we are going to write sum of all the elements till that index. We will go through the array and we will compute the sum, and let us see what happens. If we start writing the sum till that index, we are going to first 5 will be 3, and once we get minus 3 the sum becomes 0. So if you compare these two things, in the previous approach, after performing first query we got this array, and this is num_5. Yellow is written that is intermediate array, and this is sum of all the elements till that index from that array. If you start comparing these two intermediate arrays, where after performing query we are getting this. So once you understand this approach, arriving at solution is very easy. We just have to follow this approach for each query because we can directly access the index and we add k at a minus 1 and we subtract k at index b. This will be the O of n time complexity solution. Let us code the solution that we have discussed. So here we have to complete this function where array manipulation. So we know n, so we can declare an array which will consist all the zeros, which will be of size n. So this nums array will initially will have all the elements as 0. One thing we need to be aware here is in the queries they are assuming this is one indexed. If they give 1 to 5, we have to or add this number k to index from a minus 1 to b minus 1. So we have to parse that queries for query inquiries. So what is the our left index will be queries of 0, that it will be a, and minus 1, because in the question they are assuming it as 1 indexed, but in Python it will be 0 indexed. So our left index will be this, and our right index will be queries of 1 minus 1, and k will be queries of 2. Instead of queries we should write query here, because we are in each query will be an array of size 3, list of size 3. So once we know, then it will be straightforward. Then we can directly check nums of L. We are going to add k to nums of L, and nums of R plus 1, we are going to subtract k from there. And this is the approach we are taking. But here we have to, if L in range of N, we need to check whether they are giving proper index. We cannot assume something. And here also, if R plus 1 in range of N. At the end of this for loop, after each query, these nums will be updated. Then we can easily get the sum, and we can try to come up with the maximum number. Let us initialize maximum as 0, and initially current sum will be 0. For I in range of n, current sum plus equals nums of I, and if our current sum is greater than the maximum, then we have to update the maximum. At the end, we have to return maximum, because we want to return after performing all these queries. We need to return the maximum value which is present in the array. That is what we are doing. Let us check whether the solution is passing all the test cases. Okay, it is passing the initial test cases. We'll submit the solution and check whether it is passing all the test cases or not. Yes, as you can see here, all the test cases are passing. Thanks for watching this video. If you are interested in learning more about data structures and algorithms, please subscribe to this channel. I will upload more videos in future related to this topic, as well as other topics such as dynamic programming, binary trees, and other topics which are related to programming. Thanks for watching this video.